What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you're enjoying the 2023 NFL Combine. I say that today, the day I'm putting this video together, is actually Thursday, March 2nd, so happy March to you. And today is the first day that drills are going to be happening at the Combine. But the Combine, of course, while it is all about the drills, is about the information that we can glean, the things we can learn about the Dallas Cowboys and obviously every single NFL team. I know the group talked about that here on the Blogging the Boys Roundtable on Tuesday. Make sure you subscribe to the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our roundtables or anything else that we do around here. We have the next episode of our Madden franchise, by the way, dropping on Friday. But today, we're kind of talking about takeaways from the Combine, including players who have visited with the Dallas Cowboys at this time, at least, or as of this time, and what Mike McCarthy had to say. Stephen Jones talked earlier in the week. We've had some stuff come out about that, obviously, but nothing Stephen said was really shocking. It was all kind of chalk, but it is notable, obviously, that there has been some confirmation that the Cowboys will probably use the tag, that Terrence Steele is going to be back. Again, the guys talked about this on Tuesday, so you can go check that out. But I want to talk about players who have visited with the Cowboys, at least reportedly as of now. I'm putting this video together at 11:10 a.m. Central Standard Time, once again, Thursday, March 2nd. So it's possible that more names come out. But at this moment, the Cowboys have met with a number of players, both formally and informally. We've got three linebackers, Derek Hall out of Auburn, DeMarvion Overshown out of Texas, and down there in the middle of your screen, Dayan Henley out of Washington State. We've got two defensive ends as well. Obviously, the Cowboys have a bit of a need along the defensive line, but it's really not one of the highest positions of need as opposed to, say, cornerback. We have seen two safeties, obviously, meet with the Cowboys to this point in J.L. Skinner and Trey Dean III. But those two names, Joey Porter Jr. and Mekhi Garner out of LSU, those are some big names as far as the draft circle is concerned. Joey Porter Jr. definitely the top one on that list. The Cowboys have met with a running back. At this point, again, I don't think it's worth really freaking out about. These are important things to track, as are the 30 visits, and we'll get to that part of the draft process. But it is notable when you look at the positions the Cowboys have met with at this point in the draft. Once again, 3 linebackers, 2 defensive ends, 4 members of the secondary, 2 safeties and 2 corners, and a running back. We know the Cowboys obviously are going to have a need to some degree at these positions, and a lot of that is going to be based on what does and does not happen in free agency, who the Cowboys are able to bring back, who the Cowboys are able to bring in that are not a part of their team. But again, it's hard to look past Joey Porter Jr., and there are a lot of people who don't believe that he'll be available to the Cowboys with the 26th overall pick. And look, I know that some people want to see the Cowboys trade for Jalen Ramsey. I know some people want to see the Cowboys, myself included, sign Patrick Peterson. I know that a lot of people want to see different things. A lot of people want to see the Cowboys bring back Anthony Brown. Mike McCarthy said when he spoke on Wednesday that they expect Deron Bland to take a step in his second season, obviously, with the team. But if the Cowboys are able to draft Joey Porter Jr., that really changes the composition, obviously, of this defense, of this secondary, et cetera, et cetera. And it really maybe changes the composition of what they're going to do with Trayvon Diggs. We know that Trayvon is obviously entering a contract year with the Dallas Cowboys. We talked about that with Trayvon in our interview with him ahead of the Super Bowl. You can watch that here on our channel. If the Cowboys make a serious move, whether that's drafting Joey Porter Jr. or trading for Jalen Ramsey, it could have a bit of a domino effect in terms of what they wind up doing with Trayvon Diggs and his contractual situation with the team. But right now, it's really hard to read supremely into what the Cowboys are doing in terms of players they're meeting with. But again, it does say something that most of the players so far are on the defensive side of the ball. Maybe the Cowboys are obviously going to get to the point as far as working with the offense or visiting with offensive players. Maybe we'll hear more about that. Maybe that will be a majority of their 30 visits. There are a lot of needs the Cowboys have on offense. Wide receiver is chief among them. My favorite draft prospect right now, Jackson Smith-Njigba, who we also spoke with ahead of the Super Bowl. But maybe the Cowboys plan on addressing the offense in free agency, right? And addressing defense by way of the draft. We've seen them attack different sides of the ball in different ways over the past few years. But the offense is really obviously going to be all about Mike McCarthy and about what he envisions, and no more Kellen Moore and what the Cowboys are able to do. Can Dak Prescott cut down on the interceptions, et cetera, et cetera? I mentioned that Mike McCarthy spoke on Wednesday, and everything he said in his first media session was pretty standard, pretty chalk. It was, by the way, his first session since the Cowboys moved on from Kellen Moore, so it's important to note that. Obviously, the first time he publicly spoke since the Cowboys moved on from their previous offensive coordinator and hired Brian Schottenheimer. But a quote from Mike McCarthy made the rounds on Wednesday afternoon. Shout out to the Athletic Sean Machota, who tweeted it out. I'm going to read it and then offer my thoughts. I've been where Kellen has been. Kellen wants to light the scoreboard up, but I want to run the damn ball so I can rest my defense. I think when you're a coordinator, you know, but you're in charge of the offense. Being a head coach and being a play caller, you're a little more in tune with everything. I don't desire to be the number one offense in the league. I want to be the number one team in the league with a number of wins and a championship. And if we got to give up some production and take care of the ball better to get that, then that's what we'll do, because we have a really good defense. I've talked about this quote already on social media, did a podcast about it on the Blog on the Boys podcast network if you want to go and listen to that. But I think that the reaction to this has been, I want to say surprising, but I'm also not surprised. I mean, it's the Cowboys and it's Mike McCarthy. He's a polarizing figure. I get that. But there are a lot of people who are acting like Mike McCarthy, saying he just wants to run the ball. That line at the beginning, I mean, doesn't sound great. I'll be honest with you, obviously, right? Him saying Kellen wants to light the scoreboard up, but I want to run the damn ball so I can rest my defense. Do any of us really believe seriously that Mike McCarthy is saying he doesn't want to score? No, we don't have to, freak out. We don't have to overreact. We don't have to act like Mike McCarthy is incompetent or anything like that. We know that Mike McCarthy's track record, his history, everything he's really ever done in the NFL as a head coach has been reliant on the pass. He was an extremely pass-heavy coach and play caller with the Green Bay Packers. And while we've seen the Cowboys become more balanced, we know that he likes to be aggressive. We don't have to just forget these things because we want to dunk on Mike McCarthy. And I think the other part of this quote that has a lot of people feeling a different way is McCarthy saying, if we got to give up some production and take care of the ball better to get that, then that's what we'll do because we have a really good defense. And I think it's worth mentioning, like we did last year, that the Cowboys could regress on defense, right? We talked all last offseason about how the Cowboys were likely going to regress from a turnover standpoint, et cetera, and they managed to fight that off pretty well. They obviously improved in the sack department. Defense is a very difficult thing to stick year to year in the NFL, defensive success, that is. And so I don't think that we should act like the Cowboys are being archaic or trying to build their team the wrong way. Our wonderful staffer here at Blog on the Boys, David Howman, had a great Twitter thread about this. And he also noted that this is the time of year where NFL coaches just kind of say random things. Nobody wants to be honest. It's lying season. It's draft season. It's free agency. Everybody's kind of keeping secrets and state secrets close to the vest because they don't want to tip their hand in any way, shape, or form. So I don't think we have to freak out. I get why people are a little bit nervous about this, but at the very least, we have to remember that what we wanted was for the Cowboys to go fully, totally, all the way in on Mike McCarthy here in 2023 because he's their head coach. We have to know beyond a shadow of a doubt when this season is over, this coming season, what he offers to the team. So we have to see the offense that he envisions. And we're going to learn a lot about that, obviously, by way of the draft and by way of free agency, who the Cowboys bring in, the type of talent they surround, obviously, Dak Prescott with. And I think we're learning a little bit about things, again, when we look at this list of players who the Cowboys have spoken with already early on at the NFL Combine. There's only one running back on that list, by the way, and we're hearing about how Mike McCarthy wants to run the damn ball. I understand that they are saying they're probably going to tag somebody, that it's probably going to be Tony Pollard, et cetera, but it's not like the Cowboys are trying to, become the wishbone offense or anything like that, so nobody has to have any hard takes in that direction. But so far, the Combine has been kind of a status quo sort of event for the Cowboys. We've heard from Stephen Jones. We've heard from Mike McCarthy. We have yet to hear from Jerry Jones, and that might be the most insightful thing. Jerry typically does do some sort of court holding in the week of the NFL Combine. And like I said, it's Thursday around lunchtime when I'm putting this video together. So odds are that he speaks at some point before the week is over. And I can promise you that if he does, we will have you covered here at Blog on the Boys, as we always do. Make sure to subscribe right here to the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel. We have a podcast network. Like I said, we have shows and episodes coming out every single day to keep you updated and entertained every single weekday and even on the weekends as well. You can, of course, follow us on social media. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at RJ Ochoa. Somebody had that, though, on TikTok, so I had to go with RJ.Ochoa over there. But on the subject of dots, if you want to send me an email, there's one there, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com. You can leave a comment down below, and we'll do our best to get to those also. It's it's kind of a weird week. There's a lot happening, but not a lot happening, and things are in motion, but things aren't in motion. It's going to be an interesting, couple of weeks as we get ready for free agency. The tag deadline is in, at this point, a couple of days. And so the Cowboys have a little bit of time to figure out what they want to do before they have to draw a line in the sand in one significant way or another. So, it's going to be an interesting time. But like I said, Friday, be on the lookout for the next episode in our Madden franchise series. Anything else happens, we will, of course, keep you updated, as I mentioned. But, let's go ahead and let's get out of here, right? Shout out to Mike McCarthy. Shout out to running the damn ball. And shout out to you for hanging out. And thanks for joining us. And I hope you have something delicious for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We'll see you next time.